Yo, what is going on, my little Todd Poles? Got Hiker Todd here, and we are here back with week Todd of the Todd League. It has been a bit since last week was a break week. 2 weeks ago, we fought Techno, and we did take an L, so we definitely want to bounce back. But this week, we are hopping in and going up against my man's Carnie Hobo, who I definitely recommend you check out down below in the description. He's a really cool guy, and yeah, he's a he's a grass lover, so there shall be no grass on grass violence in this video. So if you do see any grass on grass violence, make sure you report this video because that is just not allowed in Carney's area. I don't know why. I don't think that makes sense. But yeah, he beat the league. He beat the games with mono grass, so he's the king. So yeah, just gonna hop right into his team with that nice round one Ferrothorn, Mega Gardevoir, Salamence, Alolan Muck, Necrozma, Blacephalon, Maractus, Electabuzz, Hitmonlee, Avolt Trio, Toxapex, and the Volbeat. So looking at it, it's a pretty scary team. He has threats like Mega Gardevoir and Blacephalon, with stuff like Salamence to clean late game. He has absolutely disgusting bulk with stuff like Alolan and Necrozma the Pex. Necrozma specifically has got like a lot of buffs between Ultra Sun and Moon and regular Sun and Moon. It's like way more coverage now, and it's just really annoying to deal with. So that's something I really have to be careful of, because it's really hard to know what it will do until it actually like does something. So yeah, I have to be really careful of that. He has little like shenanigans, stuff like Volbeat and Maractus, you could kind of say, but definitely Volbeat's actually pretty not bad for 2 points. Has a lot of good utility, and the Maractus always has spikes, so really need to be wary of that. So yeah, I'm gonna kind of go into my sort of thought process while looking at his team, so like I always do. But basically, we have his main two threats are Mega Gardevoir and Blacephalon. 100%, those are his biggest threats to my team. So one common weakness that they both have is Ghost. And what Ghost type do I have? Decidueye. And his only Ghost resist is the Alolan Muck. So I thought of this idea basically with the Sword Stance Baton Pass, as well as just offensive Decidueye. Because what I can do is, because Decidueye also got a new trick up its sleeve for Gen Ultra Sun and Moon, it now gets Shadow Sneak, which means I can potentially revenge the Blacephalon and the Mega Gardevoir when they are weakened. And even with Rocks up, the Blacephalon will die to Sneak at neutral, and Mega Gardevoir will die to Sneak at +2, or just straight up die to the Shackle. And that's really good, because what I wanted to do here is I wanted to build a team that really had to switch, because if I can make it so I don't have to switch and I'm always in a good position against stuff like the Mega Gardevoir and the Blacephalon, that's really good. I think the Mega Gardevoir is harder for me to switch into, so basically what I want to do is to make it so the majority, if not all of my team, is not forced out by Mega Gardevoir. And at least, even if they are, if some of my mons are, they either aren't in certain situations, or I can play to make it so that situation never happens, where Mega Gardevoir can just fire off a free hit, forcing me to switch out. So that's sort of my idea with that. And basically, Sword Stance Baton Pass, if he has the Alolan Muck, which is his only resist, then I can Baton Pass a Sword Stance boost into my Terrakion, and then just claim a kill with that for free. And if he doesn't bring the Alolan Muck, then that just means this Decidueye can go ham onto his team. So that's pretty much a win-win for me. So how I play is really dependent on what he brings with my Decidueye set, but either way I expect it to do really well this match. So yeah, I'm going to talk about my first Baton Pass recipient being that Terrakion. Like I said, if I Baton Pass into it on the Alolan Muck, I just claim a kill. I also have Sword Stance on this as well, just in case I can't get the Baton Pass off, because it can do a lot of damage to his team, which I really like. And I just have a bit of Spadef to help deal with Blacephalon, because like I said, Blacephalon is very difficult for me to deal with as well, but I think it's easier to deal with than Mega Gardevoir, because I can switch into this and then outspeed it on the following turn. And like, while I don't have a good sort of answer to Ghost and Fire, I still think I have more responses to like Fairy, because Fairy just beats everything that isn't Celestial, and Thunderbolt can 2-hit KO that, depending on my spread as well as his investment. So I really like this Tracheon as well just helps pivot into that Blacephalon and make that thing less of a threat. Because besides Mega Gardevoir and Blacephalon, he really doesn't have that many offensive threats, at least to my team. Like, Salamence doesn't match up that well versus me without the Z, and Necrozma is the only other Mon that's worth really looking at. Potentially Hitmonlee as well, but I think that I can deal with that if I don't think it'll be that hard to deal with if I do, as long as I prep for it at least. So yeah, gonna just go into my next and final sort of Mon of this Baton Pass core or Swords Dance core. 3 Swords Dance users. We have the Charizard. Charizard once again is really good in this matchup. It destroys everything that isn't Toxapex, because Toxapex is a top 1 water, and it kind of just destroys everything. Like and so basically what Swords Dance does is it allows me to hit that Toxapex for more damage, which is something I really like. Because if I was just like Dragon Dance with Flare Blitz, then the Toxapex could actually beat me out potentially. So that's not something I really wanted to deal with. Swords Dance literally just allows me to break past that and all of his other bulk, as well as he just has a very bulky sort of team. And I can still get the KOs that I need with Flame Charge over Flare Blitz, surprisingly. So that's really, really good there. So next up I have the Celesteela. Got an interesting set here. Basically I needed to bring Celesteela because of the Mega Gardevoir. Like, I don't think I really had a choice here. It was kind of just forced. So that's why I do have the Heavy Slam, although I did consider not bringing it, but I really want Heavy Slam to just OHKO the guard. I think I need it 100%. I'm just a bit Spadef. I have some investment to help because like his flying resist isn't that good, and in the sense of the situation with the Alolan Muck and the Decidueye, his best answer to this is the Electabuzz. Everything else takes a huge chunk from Air Slash, but if he brings the Electabuzz, then stuff like Charizard, Decidueye, and Piloswine can take advantage of that. So once again, it's a win-win situation, which is something I really like. So that's really good for me. Metal Sound helps deal with the Toxapex. I can Metal Sound that and just get a huge chunk off with Air Slash, and I can get Leech Seed recovery with it, as well as Leech Seed. It's just really nice if I predict switches and I don't feel like going for like an Air Slash or whatever. It's just really good in general. I can Seeds and make the switch out, and the Mon I go into gets Seed, so it's just really nice. The typical Celesteela, just never dying. So yeah, I'm gonna go into my next Mon right now, and that is my Rotom. Rotom, I was contemplating whether I wanted to bring it or not, but the main thing that really sold it for me is he has every hazard in the game, and I feel like when your opponent has every hazard in the game, I feel like you're almost forced to bring hazards. It really depends on your team, but I think that like having webs up, toxic spikes, and rocks, all of that would just be really bad, and I think that just put me in a disadvantageous situation, so I really don't want to deal with that. So I'm bringing this for default, mainly default. Obviously this can be a free switch into Gardevoir if he managed to catch me on going into Rotom, so that is why I have the light screen. Light screen can reduce the damage that Mega Gardevoir does. Then I just have dual stab because that's all I really need, because I can just Volt Switch out on Pharaoh and take advantage of that with my other Mons. So yeah, lastly, we do have the Piloswine with Ice Shard, Earthquake, Roar, and the Stealth Rocks. Rocks are just really good in general against him. In this matchup, I don't really feel like Salamence is that good. I honestly doubt that it's coming, but I feel that I should still respect the Salamence to a certain degree because it's obviously a Salamence, and it could be annoying, like maybe like a special variant with like Fire Blast, maybe like Draco Hydro Boost or something. So basically, I do have the Piloswine. I have Ice Shard to kind of deal with that. Roar is for Setup Necrozma. Now, Setup Necrozma is something very difficult for me to deal with because, like, let's say I mentioned Volbeat earlier. He brings Volbeat with Tail Glow, Baton Pass. He Baton Passes into the Necrozma. He Rock Polishes. I lose. Like, there's legit no counterplay I can do from that point onward if he gets that Rock Polish and Tail Glow. So I want the Roar to be able to roar that out and prevent that from ever happening. It also prevents stuff like Dual Dance Necrozma, like Calm Mind, Rock Polish, and just all that. I want to just roar that out and not worry about it. Necrozma is just really just a big threat. It's really annoying both defensively and offensively. So I really like Roar for that, and I don't really need Icicle Spear, so... Oh yeah, and his Earthquake response is Elements, so yeah, Earthquake just does a lot of work to him, so I really like Piloswine here. So yeah, that's going to be it for this team builder, and we're going to hop right into the battle. Yo, what is going on, guys? You got Todd back here with our week 4 match against Carnie Hobo, and you heard that right, we have Todd here. But yeah, if you did not watch the builder, then I recommend you check that out. But if you didn't watch it, then I'll quickly go over my team. Also, make sure you check out Carnie Hobo. His link will be down below in the description. Really cool guy, so definitely recommend you do that. But basically, the team that I brought was centered around the baton pass core, the sword stance baton pass core of the Decidueye into the Terrakion and Charizard. All three of them do have sword stance, but if he brings the Alolan Muck, then my Decidueye can go for sword stance baton pass into the Terrakion or Charizard and just get a kill pretty much. So yeah, that core just really puts in a lot of work and pressure against him, and Shadow Sneak's really good for checking stuff like Gardevoir and the Blacephalon, which funny enough, he actually didn't bring the Blacephalon, which is actually really surprising because I think it was like by far like one of the biggest threats to my team. So definitely interested to see why it did not come, but we have the Celesteela as well. Basically, it's required because I need a good Gardevoir switch in, because even though Thunderbolt has a chance to a KO, he'll have to predict that, and so I can work around that. And even so, Celesteela is just really good against him in general. Air Slash is free against everything, again, except the Electabuzz, but I have ways to take advantage of that said Electabuzz, so that's really good for me. Next up, I have the Rotom Wash. Rotom Wash is just really good. I need Defog for stuff like those webs right there. Toxic Spikes, Rocks, just really annoying versus my team, so I really don't want to deal with that stuff. So I can just Defog whenever, which is really good, and Light Screen to help lessen the pressure that the Mega Gardevoir puts on my team. Then lastly, we have the Piloswine with Ice Shard, Roar, Earthquake, and Rocks. Roar is for a setup Necrozma because setup Necrozma is very difficult for me to deal with if it's like Calm Mind, Rock Polish, or if it's like if you brought like the Volbeat with Tail Glow Pass into Rock Polish Necrozma, that would pretty much just win at that point. So I really need Roar to help deal with that. And yeah, it's just really good Salamence check, which I am a bit surprised that he did bring, but Salamence could do a lot of work potentially if it's like Hydro, like Fire Blast Draco, and that could be a really annoying set to deal with, so it's something to be aware of. So yeah, that's going to be all for that, and we are going to go ahead and lead with the Decidueye. The Decidueye was pretty much my lead every time, as it deals with everything, especially against his team with not having anything to punish it turn 1. Like, looking at his team, the only thing that he would have been able to bring was like the Alolan Muck or the Cephalon to pressure me turn 1, and he brought neither of those, so that's really good. And I'm just going to pause quickly right here. As you see, I do crit him, which basically means that he does not get webs up right now. But basically, my sort of opinion on this is Shackle was a roll to a KO regardless, and so if I did not get that roll, like in the instance that I didn't, as you see, because I do outspeed the next turn, so we would need the roll. But webs don't really do much to my team at this point. The only thing they really affect is the Terrakion, and it really isn't hard for me to get an opportunity to defog with the Rotom, and there was a chance that he didn't even go for webs, I mean, on the next turn. He might have just went for like another Toxic Thread. But regardless, I don't think that the crit mattered really at all, in my honest opinion. But yeah, that is definitely unfortunate for him though, because obviously things would have been a bit different. But yeah, that's going to go ahead and drop, and Decidueye's at like 82, I think, now, and yeah, he's going to go ahead and go into his Salamence to revenge me. I'm just going to go into Piloswine. It's pretty much like my first response to this, and he's going to reveal the Crunch. So automatically, I know he's not special or anything. Like, I highly doubt you'd be special. Crunch. So what this sort of indicates is, because he went for a Crunch, first of all, I think that he might be Scarfed. Kind of lights up a little bulb right there, because you don't really run Crunch on a Dragon Dance set. You usually can't fit it in. You usually have coverage moves that are better than it. So because of that, I'm really just thinking that he's Scarfed, so I really need to be careful around that later on. So that's just something to keep in mind. Rocks are just free right here. He doesn't really have anything to pressure with me. I can take a Hydro even if he's like mixed or whatever, as he's going to go for the Seeds on my Charizard, and I'm just going to fire off a Flame Charge. I want to see what he really does. I can get off, and I can sort of scout this Necrozma set, as that does a good chunk to it. As on this next turn, not expecting him to go straight for the attack, I'm actually going to go for the Dragon Claw, kind of scout out his set and spread a little more, as he does go for the Moonlight and gets that health all back. So yeah, I kind of do scout that. Like, it does a decent chunk. It's not like fully Fizz Step or anything, I don't think, but yeah, so like +2 Dragon Claw would do like 80, so that's something to keep in mind later on. I can definitely break through this. So yeah, I'm just going to go ahead and switch out now though, because he's free to just like go for rocks. I'm just giving him free turns if I stay in at this point. And he actually reveals the Iron Defense now. So basically what this Iron Defense means is that because I didn't bring a Toxic user on this team, if it comes down to last Mon Necrozma, then Necrozma could actually potentially pull things back if he's like in a bad situation. So I really need to be careful around that and not allow Necrozma to get things going. Even like in the mid game, Necrozma could be very annoying, but I do have the roar, so it's not as bad mid game. So yeah, it's just something to take note of right there. As I'm just going to take this opportunity to get a light screen up. He goes for Heat Wave, as he's just going to now go into Firethorn. That's a free volt switch for me. And I can go right back into the Zard, this time for free. And he is going to go for the Protect. And at this point, like I said, the Necrozma takes like 80 from +2 Dragon Claw. So if you were to go into the Necrozma now, and he takes a +2 Dragon Claw, he would either die, or he would definitely die to 2. And I do have the light screen up, so he wouldn't be able to kill me with anything back. So basically what this sort of means now is, because I'm going to go for the SD here, I have literally no reason not to. Even if he went for like the Thunder Wave or whatever, I didn't really care, or even the Bulldoze, because I could take that and then on the following turn I could just get off a really big hit, pretty much killing something. So yeah, basically he just kind of gives me that free Sword Stance, which is really nice, because I can just fire off a Flame Charge for free now. I don't lose anything by it, as he is going to die right through the Akka. So yeah, I'm at like half, and I'm at +2, +1, so the Charizard's looking really scary here, and I can potentially actually win the game with it right now. However, like I said earlier, because he revealed the Crunch, I am leaning towards this being a Scarf Salamence, and if he wanted to bring a Max Speed Salamence, predicting me to not bring Max Speed Charizard, that is very smart on his part, I feel, because obviously I have builders for weeks 1, 2, and 3, and basically he will see that I haven't brought Max Speed Charizard once, and so knowing that he might take advantage of that knowledge and bring Max Speed Salamence to 100% revenge a +1 Charizard, that is something that I need to be aware of. And Celesteela is just a very free switch in at this point. I didn't want to risk my Charizard, so I can just go into that, as he does just go for the Earthquake, so that's really, really good. And now I can just get off the seeds. He either like goes to this, or like he goes to Cosmo, and I can just get the seeds up there. So that's really, really nice, as he's actually going to make a really nice double now, predicting my Piloswine most likely, and goes into the Gardevoir. So now the Gardevoir is kind of got that turn that I really didn't want to give it while building, and hopefully this is the only time it gets that opportunity, but this is really bad for me because now I might potentially lose him on. And like Celesteela is so obvious that Thunderbolt could definitely be a play regardless, even though like Earthquake into Ice Shot will kill this. So it's really just how risky he wants to be, and I'm going to see how risky he wants to be, and I'm going to go straight into the Celesteela, as he's going to fire off the Focus Blast, and he's going to miss. And that's unfortunate because basically he doesn't know anything about my set now, and like the only thing I've revealed about Celesteela is Seeds, so I could be like an offensive, like Autotomize, Air Slash, like Heavy Slam variant, and I could just destroy his team at this point with Seeds. And so because he doesn't have any information on my Celesteela, haven't revealed an item, haven't revealed my spread, like I said, he's almost sort of forced to stay in at this point to get big damage off on me, so he can kind of deal with it accordingly. And I'm just going to actually Heavy Slam, kind of seeing that out, which is really unfortunate on his part, because Mega Gardevoir was a really annoying big threat to my team, so yeah, that really sucks there. But he's just going to go into his Necrozma now, and I'm going to take this as an opportunity to just seeds this, kind of see what he wants to do. He goes for the Heat Wave. I don't take much from it because I did get the Spadef boost from killing Gardevoir, and now I'm just going to go ahead and switch out, not wanting to take any more damage from this because I want to be able to seeds it later. As also this is just a good opportunity to get up my light screen, as he was just going for Heat Waves before, so I could have just went into that and took anything else. And now I'm going to go into my Piloswine. He reveals the Detect, which is interesting. I'm not sure why he had it over Protect, but it's pretty cool to see that there. But I'm just going to go for the Earthquake now. And on the following turn, I'm going to go for the Earthquake again because Moonlight's pretty free. And on the next turn, I'm just going to go for the Roar because he's most likely going to go for that Iron Defense right there. So I'm going to catch that, and he's going to go into the lens. I'm going to kill it, and he's now going to go into the Electabuzz, and now this is kind of bad. It's weird that I say this is bad because it's literally 6-2, and probably most likely about to be 6-1, which I'll reveal that it is. But this is a situation that I really didn't want to get into because, like I said, I don't have any Toxic Mons, and because of that, what that means is this Necrozma can potentially 1v1 my entire team at this point because like I don't have Toxic, and Seeds are hard to get off versus this, and even if I do get them off, they're like not guaranteed win. So at this point, what I need to do is I really need to not. So basically, at this point, I need to make it so. Basically, there's a way I can win this 100%, but I'll say right now I was a bit greedy and I wanted to try and preserve differential. But basically, what I could have done is just got my screens up repeatedly, got Seeds up with Celesteela, and then wear him down with my Charizard and Terrakion. But instead, what I'm going to do here is, I don't know why Earthquake right there, I probably should have switched out, but yeah, I'm going to make some sort of misplays as, I'm just going to speed this up a little bit until it gets to the part where I kind of start making misplays. Basically, I'm going to get my screens up, which was what I need to do. It's the crit, but I do live, so that's all fine. And at this point, I can Volt Switch out and go into the Charizard, which is fine. And then what I'm going to do at this point is, since I have the light screen, I can take the Photon Geysers. I can just repeatedly boost up. As you see, that doesn't really do much, so I can try and just stall it out because Photon Geyser only has 8 PP. Yeah, so it's not really much of an issue. So what I can do is just do that as he kind of realizes that. And I'm going to stay in again, which I'm not sure why. I'm trying to stall a few more, but obviously that does like 50 and a crit will kill me. So at this point, I'm sort of messing around with the crits, and I should have roosted there as well. Which, yeah, that was a big misplay there, not roosting, because I think that then I could have taken another Photon Geyser, but now I'm like almost like barely out of range, and now I am out of range. I'm in range, I mean. And now I'm going to go into my Palace line and to solve more PP. And I'm going to go into my Terrakion. And my thought process here was because at this point he had one Photon Geyser. So I was thinking, okay, Terrakion will force him to use that last Photon Geyser. And then he won't be able to touch Charizard, and it'll be just a PP war where I'll eventually crit him. And if he crits me, it won't matter because he'll only have Heat Wave. But I didn't realize, but he did have a chance to just wear me down with Heat Wave, and if I'm not SD, then he does beat this with Heat Wave. So I make the biggest misplay probably of this game, and I decide that my best stack is Rotom, opposed to like Paloswine or Decidueye. So that's really bad because the screens are up, and without the screens, I don't even know if the Celesteela can live a Heat Wave without the screens, and even with that, that would be risking differential. And at this point, I was trying to save as much differential as possible, which was a really bad misplay on my part. But yeah, that's pretty much what is doing Ice Stone Edge for no reason because I didn't really realize that I need to try and boost past. As now I kind of realize that, and I'm like, okay, I need a Sword Stance. I'm not really sure why he's not Iron Defensing again, because I think that if he actually did Iron Defense again, he probably could have won actually, and maybe even made it so the differential was lower. Because I definitely think because there was a surefire way I could have won this like 4-0. If, like I said, I just got the screens, like I stalled out his PP with the Charizard, he had like one left, I just get up the screens again, then I go back into Charizard, and I just roost up, I'm at like full, and Photon Geyser, like without the screens, does like 50, so I can take that without any problem, and then I just win with my Charizard. And all that really takes is, I just need to probably sack off my Rotom, and then probably sack off something else to get into my Rotom. So yeah, just very sloppy endgame on my part, but thankfully we are going to come out with the win week 4 against Carnie. Definitely, like I said, recommend you check him out. And yeah, it's gonna be all for this video. And next week we are going to go up against Tone, so stay tuned for that. Peace.